It's crazy to think that 10 years ago, the C-Class was Mercedes-Benz's most important model. It was all about the compact executive models back then. But things have changed. The world is crazy about SUVs now in all shapes and forms. But manufacturers are forging forward. In fact, we're going to see new versions of the rivals soon. And Mercedes-Benz has given its C-Class a complete overhaul. And I'm in Cape Town for the local launch to see if this new C-Class will continue its success story. The C-Class is made right here in South Africa at Merck's production plant in East London. A fun fact is that Mercedes-Benz has been making cars locally since as early as 1958. But it is the C-Class that still remains an important car for the brand, even if the world is SUV crazy. 13 billion rand was invested into the East London plant in preparation for the production of this new model. Well, this model is longer and wider than the outgoing model. The roofline has also been lowered slightly and the wheelbase has been lengthened by 22 millimeters, while both front and rear tracks have been widened. The designers have reduced lines to a minimum, which accentuates the so-called catwalk line or shoulder line even further. There is no doubt that this is a C-Class. The design has not exactly been revolutionary. It's more of an evolution. Many would say that it looks like a baby S-Class, and that has to be considered a real compliment, right? The exterior isn't exactly grabbing our attention with the changes that have been made, but let me tell you that the interior does. Let me show you. Let's not beat around the bush here. This screen is ginormous. Do you think in the future we're going to have a dashboard that is just one giant screen? I really hope not. The reason being is that I prefer a traditional button. I know that this is all meant to simplify things, but this screen has to load. Then I have to click through it to get to things that I want to change. That for me doesn't simplify things. It makes it more complicated. Now, this can also be on me as well, because this car is so technologically advanced that everything is pretty much operated via your voice. So I can say something like, "Hey Mercedes, I'm cold," and it will change the temperature for me, so I don't have to look at the screen. But now, does that not just complicate things as well? It's not as simple as just somewhere turning a button. While I'm driving, turning it off. That's what I think is simple. Regardless, one cannot deny the impact this cabin has. It is beautifully designed and well put together. It's all kinds of luxurious and really feels like a huge leap forward for the C-Class. You could even say that it feels a bit fancier than some of its more expensive family members. The look of the screens can even be individualized with 3 display styles: discreet, sporty, classic, and 3 modes: navigation, assistance, and service. This car will more than likely carry a passenger or 2. And so customers will be grateful for the extra space inside, especially in the rear. This model offers 21 millimeters more legroom, 22 millimeter more elbow room, and 13 millimeters more shoulder room. The engine lineup is limited to just a 2-litre turbo diesel and a 1.5-litre turbo petrol. The turbo diesel is going to be your bulk seller. You're getting 147 kilowatts of power, 550 newton meters of torque. Very, very low claimed fuel consumption of just 4.6 litres per 100 Ks. The fuel consumption is not as low, obviously, as the diesel. It's claimed at 6.6 litres per 100 Ks, so still not terrible, especially in a car of this sort of size. There is an EQ Boost electric starter motor as well, which gives you an extra 15 kilowatts of power. It's beautiful to drive around town, and also kind of getting it opened up on the highway. I think the diesel's going to be the one that gives you a little bit more of a thrill when you sort of really get to open it up. But I find this to be just a lovely, comfortable drive. The steering is perfectly weighted. This 9G Tronic automatic transmission is slick and smooth and silky, and everything you want from it. You can almost hardly notice it, in fact, which I want from gear shifts when I'm driving a car. I think my only sort of niggle is maybe the fact that it's a little bit stiff in the ride. I would like it to be a bit softer, but that could be down to the tire specification. It'll be a sad day when this segment becomes obsolete. I don't mean to be a bit of a downer, but we have to prepare for the inevitable. The entire motoring world is all about electrification going forward, so we do have to plan for it. The days for these executive sedans is numbered, but until then, I am going to enjoy every minute with this because it is hands down the best C-Class yet.